afternoon. 4 fifth-round FA Cup ties are centre stage, and given both of this season's semi-finals will be played at Wembley, whoever wins today will be one more victory away from playing under the arch. 3 FA Cup finalists are watching those games unfold. It's Carlton Palmer, Martin Keown and Garth Crooks. Premier League Chelsea are playing League One Huddersfield. David Garrido is at Stamford Bridge.
Well, Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1. Frank Lampard, the real difference with his 10th and 11th goals of the season to take his Chelsea tally to 101, would you believe? Both strikes coming after well-timed runs into the box, and his pass just set up Salomon Kalou for the third, cutting in from the left and dispatching a shot past Matt Glennon. Michael Collins' earlier equaliser now looks to be a consolation for Huddersfield. Chelsea, barring a massive turn of events, are going through to the last 8. Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1.
West Bromwich Albion are going through to the last 8. Bristol Rovers are through to the last 8 for the first time in 50 years, having beaten Southampton in the lunchtime game. More details on the way, but next stop is Anfield. Non-league Havant and Waterlooville twice took the lead against Liverpool in the 4th round. And Championship club Barnsley are faring well. Damien Johnson reporting.
They are. Liverpool 1, Barnsley 1. Gerrard and Torres rested. Liverpool lacking a real ruthless streak. They led through Dirk Kuyt, who dispatched Babel's cross after a great left-wing run. Barnsley have hung in there. Stephen Foster headed their equaliser in the second half. Cue the Liverpool assault on their goal. 2 goalmouth scrambles. Luke Steele's saved Lucas's header. Can Barnsley hang on? Ominously for them, Gerrard is about to come on.
Coventry City parted company with manager Ian Dowie in the run-up to the tie with West Bromwich Albion, and they're about to part company with the FA Cup competition. Andrew James watching this all-championship tie.
Yes, Coventry 0, West Bromwich Albion 3 now, Ray. A second goal for Roman Bentner, who's just been substituted, but not before he scored from the penalty after he won a rather controversial award for handball by Ariane Dazou. It was a second goal of the afternoon, as I mentioned, for Bentner, who took advantage of a mistake by Marshall, the Coventry keeper, earlier on, and Chris Brunt got a header in the first half. And then in between all of that, Michael Doyle, the captain of Coventry, sent off for a challenge on Gira. It looked very harsh from Mark Halsey and didn't please most of the 28,000 crowd here, a record for a Coventry City game at the Ricoh Arena. It's Coventry 0, West Brom 3.
Cardiff versus Wolves is an all-championship tie too. It's not inconceivable both teams could play at Wembley in the Cup and a playoff final. Mark Bishop reporting.
Cardiff City 2, Wolves 0. The last time Cardiff reached the quarter-final of this competition, way back in 1927 when they won the FA Cup themselves. Mick McCarthy tearing his hair out with frustration on the edge of the technical area because it's been all Cardiff. That shock lead after 2 minutes, Peter Whittingham and Paul Wickham, that early goal, wonderful goal then from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Top left-hand corner, Hennessy no chance, and then the Wolves keeper had to make 2 world-class saves to deny parry, and then Hasselbank again. Cardiff in the ascendancy, they lead by 2-0 at Ninian Park.
Peterborough taking the lead against Barnet by 1-0. Chance of going into the automatic promotion places in League 2. Just to confirm, the FA Cup result already in. Bristol Rovers 1, Southampton 0. Here's the goal. Guy Mowbray, the commentator.
Bristol Rovers' top scorer has got his sights firmly set on goal here. Being made to wait as Disley makes a nuisance of himself in the Southampton wall. And now it is. Lambert's strike, it's low, it's deflected, it's in! And Bristol Rovers have the lead!
I'm not sure who takes deflection off. You can see there's movement in there. It takes a deflection, I think, off the defender. And I think it goes into the roof of the net. He hits it low. I'm sure somebody sticks out a foot.
It's Jermaine Wright.
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter who it comes off, does it? It's an instinctive reaction.
Bristol Rovers reach the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time in 50 years.
Well, it's a great day in the history of Bristol Rovers. They'll be in the draw for the quarter-finals on Monday on BBC 2 and 1:25. So, who do you go for? Do you get a team you can beat and go to an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, or do you have the showpiece game against one of the so-called top 4?
I go for the team you can beat. Let's go for a semi-final place. That's my view.
What do you think, Martin?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a real opportunity for one of the lower league teams here to perhaps go all the way with the 2 big teams playing later tonight. Liverpool they're not through by any means either, so if they went out also, I mean, we're looking at the Barnsley game now, and it really is difficult for Liverpool at the moment.
Well played, the Pirates, eh, Carlton?
Yeah, fantastic result for them. And if you're a player, you want to get to Wembley. That's a dream come true as any player, and we've been lucky enough to do that. If you're the chairman, you want a big club.
Bristol Rovers through to the quarter-finals of the Cup. Liverpool aren't yet. Barnsley doing really well at Anfield. Damien Johnson.
They are. It remains 1-1. Steven Gerrard rested. He's just come off the bench. The Liverpool captain, one driving run to win a corner. He's looked threatening right from the very off. Barnsley have battled away all afternoon. Another strange substitution from the manager Rafa Benitez. Brian Babel's been the best player on the pitch all afternoon, substituted in the second half, and Harry Kewell's on in his place and getting some stick from the Anfield crowd. 1-1.
So, Liverpool not through to the quarter-finals. Barnsley of the Championship holding them at Anfield. Chelsea on the way through to the last 8. David Garrido.
Yeah, that's pretty sure now, Ray. The visitors know their fate already. They're 3-1 down here at the bridge. At the start of the second half, applying the pressure, looking to take the lead. But now Huddersfield hoping to leave South West London without being hammered. Andrei Shevchenko back from injury on for Steve Sidwell. Malvin Kamara has placed Phil Jevons. It remains Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1.
There'll be a lot of discussion about a red card in the Coventry-West Bromwich Albion game when the score was only 1-0 to Albion. But Albion look certain to go through to the quarter-finals now. Andrew James?
Yes, and to be fair, Ray, they've been the better side. 2 goals for Bednar, 1 in the first half from Chris Brunt, but that sending off of Michael Doyle was key, and a penny for the thoughts of Ian Dowie, sacked as manager of Coventry City earlier this week. They really have looked ill-prepared for this game, Coventry, and they trailed by 3-0.
Cardiff haven't been in an FA Cup quarter-final since 1927. Looks like it's going to change. Mark Bishop?
That's right, Ray, and that's when they won the FA Cup, of course. Cardiff City 2, Wolves 0. Every Cardiff fan to a man standing up, giving Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank a standing ovation when he came off to be substituted by Thompson. It's been all Cardiff. A wonderful, wonderful performance from Dave Jones's side. Whittingham's goal inside 3 minutes left, Wolves reeling, and then a wonder goal you'll see on Match of the Day tonight from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. 2-0 to Cardiff with 9 minutes remaining.
My eyes keep going to the Liverpool-Barnsley game because Liverpool aren't closing this game out. Don't look like it when I look at the screen.
Well, the keeper's never been a keeper. The keeper's never been a keeper, and Barnsley are growing in confidence, and they're far from thinking about taking this back to Oakwell. They're on about winning this here and now. And I've got to be honest with you, the rotation system, I think players get disillusioned by it.
Goal in the cup tie in the Coventry with West Bromwich Albion, the visitors. Andrew James?
Yep, 4-0 now to West Bromwich Albion. Ray, a repeat of the league score earlier this season between the two sides. The substitute, Ishmael Miller, is the man that calmly put the ball under Andy Marshall. Great ball through from the fullback Carl Hufkins. It's Coventry 0, West Brom 4.
In League One, it's bottom against top, Port Vale against Swansea. Swansea nearly over the hill and far, far away as far as promotion is concerned. Nigel Bidmead.
And still going because they now lead by 2-0. Thomas Butler, a substitute, with a shot that hit the base of the post. It ricocheted into a crowd of players, and then just as it was about to cross the line, we reckon Ferry Boda may have got the final touch to make it Port Vale 0, Swansea 2.
4 Coca-Cola Championship games being played. Stoke played and won last night and went top of the table. Charlton against Watford, 5th against 2nd. Watford need to win to retake top spot. Tony Lockwood.
Watford on the comeback trail, a 2-goal deficit wiped out early in the second half. John Joe O'Toole came off the bench to start the revival. Danny Shittu heading home a corner before Charlton had time to recover. Earlier, Darren Ambrose and a Shittu own goal had put Charlton in control. It's 2-2.
Another goal in the Coventry West Bromwich Albion FA Cup tie. Andrew James.
Coventry 0, West Bromwich Albion 5. Zoltan Gira Strictly Come Dancing through the Coventry City penalty area. After You Claude was the game they were playing. It's not very funny though for the fans of Coventry City. Coventry 0, West Brom 5. Celtic
cutting the gap on Rangers to a point by beating Hearts this afternoon. Ian Turner's at Celtic Park.
It's going to be Andreas Hinkle has just scored his first for the club, set up by Scott Brown, took it into the 6-yard box, blasted it into the roof of the net. Venegoor of Hesselink mean it's Celtic 3, Hearts 0.
3 points for Celtic. Coventry haven't just been knocked out of the cup today, they've absolutely been battered and thumped and thrown out the cup.
And no thanks.
5-0 at home.
And no thanks to Mark Halsey. It's a turning point at a pivotal point in the game. Mark Halsey makes a decision that results in the captain Doyle being sent off. It was never a sending off decision, and yet Coventry down to 10 men.
Do you see that as the turning point, the key factor that decided the result?
Without doubt, and they feel harshly done by because he's just gone in as a side foot. He hasn't raised his foot up. It's a clumsy challenge, if anything. And after that, Coventry, you're playing against one of the top teams in their division. They just couldn't cope, and it's difficult times at Coventry right now.
Carlton, are Liverpool going to get out of jail here at home to Barnsley in the Cup?
I don't know. They have got that quality, haven't they? But Barnsley have given it everything. And, it would be cruel on Barnsley not to at least get a replay out of this game.
Let's hear from Damien Johnson, who's at Anfield. Most likely to Liverpool going to get a goal in the final minutes, Damien?
Well, they're pressing and pressing. Harry Kewell's had a couple of efforts, but he should have squared the ball rather than taking a shot as the ball comes in again from Gerrard, who's been increasingly influential. Yeah, they continue to press. Barnsley's on the break are looking threatening themselves on occasions, but the ball is always in the... And there's a fantastic volley from Harry Kewell, which hit the top of the crossbar and bounced over to safety. Barnsley hanging on. Can they do it? They've got 7 minutes to go.
7 minutes to go. Are they going to hang on, Garth?
I think, as Carlton says, it'd be rather an injustice if they don't, because I think they've worked so hard and they've really threatened Liverpool at times. They can still get something out of this, Barnsley.
But Martin's made a point. Something's not right at Liverpool. He's taken Babel off. I know Kewell's had a few attempts, but Babel's been the best player on the park for Liverpool.
Yeah, they've not got the right mix, have they?
Tinker. He's tinkering all the time, and it just might be tinkering a little bit too much.
But they should be good enough to beat this Barnsley side, all said and done.
Liverpool 1, Barnsley 1, Inter Milan to come in the Champions League in midweek. To the Valley, one of the top championship games. Tony Lockwood watching Charlton against Watford.
Still 2-2, but Joby McAnuff, who'd earlier hit the base of the post for Watford, could have won this. Nathan Ellington's knocked down, and McAnuff couldn't finish. We've got 9 minutes remaining. It's 2-2.
Some important goals being scored in League 2 this afternoon as we get to the final whistles. Dagenham and Redbridge kicked off third bottom, but they're 3-0 up away at Grimsby, who went into the game 10 unbeaten. Lincoln City 2, Macclesfield 1. Bury were fourth bottom, by the way, and they're winning away at Stockport. Wrexham bottom of the table, their game at MK Dons was postponed. Darlington second, Mansfield second bottom. Mansfield going well as well, they're leading. So all the teams in the bottom of League 2 picking up points this afternoon, desperately trying to get away from the relegation places. To Portman Road now, Andy Barwell watching the Ipswich-Blackpool game in the Championship.
And it seems normal service is being resumed at Portman Road. Ipswich's long unbeaten home run came to an end here last Saturday, but Jim Magilton's side currently cruising to 3 points this afternoon against Blackpool. They had to wait until the second half though to break the deadlock here. Macedonian Vilici Smolikowski with his first goal for the club. Jonathan Walters added a second after Keith Southern's mistake. It's Ipswich 2, Blackpool 0.
Hull have lost only one of the last 10 games, on the verge of getting into the playoffs. Colchester trying to play their way out of the relegation places and going well this afternoon, it appears. James Mason.
They are, Ray. It's Hull 1, Colchester 1, but it's Hull that are in the ascendancy. How goals change games. Fraser Campbell's equaliser on 64 minutes. Since that, Hull completely a different team, pouring forward for a winner. Colchester simply holding on now. Hull 1, Colchester 1.
7th against 3rd in Scotland. Inverness against Dundee United. Brian McLaughlin.
It's now Callan Thistle 1, Dundee United 1. It's a deserved equaliser as well for the home side. Marcus Paatelainen just on for 5 minutes. It's a substitute. The ball played into the box. He was all alone at the back post, and a left foot shot beyond Lucas Zaluska into the back of the net. It's now Callan Thistle 1, Dundee United 1.
Leicester kicked off only 2 points above the relegation places in the Championship. Norwich unbeaten in 13. Alan Biggs at the Walker Stadium.
And you join us as Leicester score a fourth goal of the afternoon. 4-0 against Norwich. Earlier goals from Ian Hume, Steve Howard and DJ Campbell crowned a much improved display from Leicester and a much reduced one from Norwich. Their unbeaten run ending. Hume opened the scoring after being played clear by Campbell. The second goal was a terrific finish from striker Steve Howard, and since then we've had DJ Campbell on target and now Stephen Clements. 4-0 Leicester.
Leicester have lost the last 3. Important they got back on track with points this afternoon. In League 1, a lot of the top teams postponed today, so Nottingham Forest can make ground on the automatic promotion places. Steve Mayer's watching their home game with Swindon.
And they're doing it right now. It's Forest 1, Swindon 0. Forest looking at their 15th unbeaten league game at the City Ground. Nathan Tyson scoring early in the second half. Great finish when Forest had their best spell. A go back from the son of the African Cup of Nations. Should have had a second, but at the moment it looks as if Forest are going back up to third place. Forest 1, Swindon 0.
Yeah, Forest are going to make progress, and so are Tranmere Rovers. They're playing Millwall at Prenton Park. Neil Henderson reporting.
Very much on a roll this season, looking for the 4th victory in 6 matches and continuing their unbeaten run against Millwall since 1995. They had this one wrapped up in the first half with goals from Sheriff and Moore, but Tranmere very much in command.
Leyton Orient are going to make progress on the playoff places. Luton, it's looking to look very difficult for them to stay in League One. Robin Bailey.
It looks like 1 point in 7 games for Luton. They've been awful today. They've had just one clear-cut chance for the substitute Paul Furlong against the knees of the goalkeeper Stuart Nelson. But Leyton Orient should be home and dry. Jabo Iberi got the goal in the first half. They should have had at least 3 or 4 goals, but for Dean Brill, they would have done in goal. It's 1-0 to Leyton Orient here.
To League Two now. MK Dons the leaders. Their match at bottom of the table, Wrexham, postponed. Second playing second bottom, Darlington against Mansfield. Steve Sutton.
And it's second bottom on top at the minute, Ray. Mansfield lead by 2 goals to 1. Darlington, remember, down to 10 men. They led in the first half through a Neil Austin goal. Then 10 minutes after the restart, Jefferson Louis equalised for Mansfield. And then 10 minutes after that, Stephen Dawson made it 2-1. And Mansfield could have had another couple after that. They lead 2-1.
Third, fourth and fifth bottom all winning too. A lot of points being taken this afternoon for teams in the lower reaches of League Two. But in the Cup, back to Anfield. Liverpool against Barnsley. Damien Johnson.
Barnsley about a minute and a half away from a famous result here. They're drawing 1-1, but their goal is leading a charmed life. Series of goal-mouth scrambles. Kuhl's hit the bar. A Dirk Kuyt's effort brilliantly turned over by Luke Steele, the on-loan goalkeeper. Can they hang on for a famous replay? It's 1-1.
The reaction of the Liverpool fans at the final whistle, if that stays 1-1, will be very interesting to see and hear. To David Garrido at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea Huddersfield.
Well, Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1. It remains no prizes for guessing man of the match here. Standing ovation for Frank Lampard. Scored 2 goals, set up the third. Michael Essien on for him. Nicolas Anelka for Claudio Pizarro. Chelsea still searching for a 4th to make this victory totally comprehensive. But for the moment, it's Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1.
West Bromwich Albion comprehensively on their way to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Andrew James.
Yeah, still Coventry City 0, West Bromwich Albion 5, and it is a very comprehensive win for West Bromwich Albion. No doubting that the sending off of Michael Doyle, a straight red, very controversial decision by Mark Halsey, has affected things. But to be fair to West Brom, so did the dreadful goalkeeping of Andy Marshall that let in Roman Bentner for the second Albion goal. And Albion have been well worth their victory, but Coventry with all sorts of problems. Coventry 0, West Brom 5.
Wolves never really recovered from giving away early goals in Ninian Park. Mark Bishop.
It certainly didn't, Ray. Cardiff 2, Wolves 0. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's wonder goal in front of a capacity crowd of more than 15,000 at Ninian Park has sealed Wolves' fate. Whittingham's first goal inside 3 minutes. Wolves have never recovered. The time is ticking away. Cardiff are going to win this, and they lead by 2 goals to 0.
We'll be seeing that wonder goal in around about 20 minutes. My eyes keep going to the Liverpool-Barnsley game, and I'm just wondering what the reaction will be at Anfield if it's 1-1 when the final whistle goes, Garth.
Well, your eyes keep going to it. My eyes can't leave it. I mean, I'm riveted to it because, quite frankly, Barnsley have come close on a couple of occasions. Time's running out for Liverpool. They don't need another fixture. They've got Champions League at midweek. They've got a heavy fixture list, and Barnsley at Oakwell will be very dangerous. Stealing goals had a good game, by the way.
You see, they don't need another fixture. It doesn't matter. You don't play the same team anyhow, so whoever plays will be fresh.
I mean, Carlton has this problem with rotation, and he regards the rotation as the very problem that Rafa Benitez has had all season.
I think, though, they went 1-0 up in the game. They're not ruthless enough when they go in front. And now they're paying the penalty for that because Barnsley got a bit scrappy. It's long balls at the moment into Crouch, and that's the best Liverpool can hope for just now.
You seem to be all saying that Barnsley deserve a replay, yes?
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah,
without doubt. But why don't you play Torres for 15 minutes and finish the 15 half a game and finish the game off?
Ipswich against Blackpool, championship game drawing to a conclusion. Andy Barwell.
Well, maybe it's not all over here at the moment because it's Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1. A controversial goal for Blackpool from Paul Dickoff. The linesman's flag went up. Dickoff appeared to be offside, carried on playing, rounded the goalkeeper Stephen Bywater, slotted it home. The referee Fred Graham went over to his assistant, had a bit of a conflab and decided to let the goal count. It's Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1.
Stoke are top of the championship. A Watford goal will take them back to top spot. Tony Lockwood.
We're into the last minutes and a chance for Matt Holland from 20 yards out, flashed just wide. It looks like it's going to be a point apiece. Charlton 2, Watford 2, a minute left.
Full-time, Gretna 1, Motherwell 3. Gretna 9 points adrift at the bottom of the table, playing at home. Let's go back to Anfield. Damien Johnson.
Where Barnsley have just been denied what looked a clear-cut penalty. Skipper Brian Howard went down in the area. It looked like he was tripped. The referee Martin Atkinson absolutely adamant it wasn't a foul, and they play on. But Luke Steele has... And Barnsley have scored! Brian Howard, Liverpool defenders dithered in the area, failed to clear their lines. Left-footed, Brian Howard drilled the ball low past Ichange, and we have a major upset in the FA Cup on the cards here. We're in stoppage time, and Barnsley lead 2-1.
Well, Simon Davey is just telling his players to try and calm down for the final moments. What a cup result this will be.
Justice has been done because Barnsley should have had a penalty. It was stonewall. Damien Johnson called it absolutely right. They don't get the penalty, and then on the edge of the box...
It's Howard, isn't it?
Howard takes the ball onto his left side and rifles it into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a great strike.
They're in dreamland, aren't they, at the moment? You know, these last few minutes are really going to be difficult for them at the moment. But I can't see Liverpool really getting back. They're just raining long balls in, and the better football has come from Barnsley on the break.
Let's get this straight. Barnsley have performed so well at Anfield.
They're through. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Final whistle has gone at Anfield. Liverpool Football Club out the FA Cup. Championship side Barnsley have won. Remember, they went there a decade ago and won. But this is a remarkable FA Cup result. Damien Johnson reporting.
Well, this is one of the most remarkable FA Cup upsets of recent years. It has to be. Barnsley have won by 2-1. Celebrations to the left-hand side. The 6,000 Barnsley fans are going absolutely nuts. And in contrast, Liverpool fans booing their team off the pitch. Count put Liverpool ahead in the first half. We expected the floodgates to open. Barnsley hung in there. They got an equaliser, a header from Stephen Foster in the second half. The Barnsley goal led a charmed life in the second half. Liverpool battered away but couldn't find a winner. And then in injury time, Barnsley denied a penalty when Brian Howard appeared to be felled in the area. He picked himself up, regained possession and drilled the ball low past Charles Atangi for the winner. Barnsley through. They celebrate away to my left. Liverpool disconsolate. What an FA Cup tie.
So, Premier League Liverpool dumped out of the FA Cup by Championship side Barnsley. 29 league places between the two teams. And Garth, don't tell me the uncertainty of what's happening at Liverpool isn't clearly filtering its way through to the team performance.
Well, look, I mean, my position is very clear. I mean, what happens off the field? Players are professional. Liverpool players are professional as they get. They're a top four side. At least they were. They're losing it. It's unravelling. But the fans here, the Barnsley fans, let's talk about Barnsley for a second, because those fans have travelled and deserve their victory and their success. Steele, the Barnsley goalkeeper, has been magnificent, as have all the other outfield players. It's been a superb performance. Howard has got the winning goal, captain. It's been a captain's performance.
We said before the start of this game that Haventon Waterlooville, non-league side, came to Anfield and led twice. Liverpool will come out of the blocks firing all cylinders, but Barnsley have just showed them the way to do it.
Well, they're not learning the lessons, are they? You know, they didn't get out the blocks last time. I thought they started better today, but once they got back into it, they're not ruthless enough.
That's Luke Steele, Carlton. The goalkeeper signed on loan because Barnsley had a goalkeeping crisis. OK, he's conceded a goal, but his team have won.
45 minutes is a day of remembering his life in it. You know, 45 minutes league football and make no mistake, he's made 2 important saves in this game as well.
They've put Liverpool out of the FA Cup. Who's got a richer history than Liverpool?
I'm told Dickie Bird's about to go down and do a lap of honour on the Anfield pitch, the former Test referee. But well done, Barnsley. Congratulations. Bristol Rovers through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup from League One. Barnsley of the Championship through to the last 8 of the FA Cup. To Stamford Bridge, David Garrido's watched the Chelsea-Huddersfield tie.
Score Frank Lampard once again exerting his influence to snuff out all thoughts of a replay or even an upset. The first, a well-placed first-time shot. His second goal, sticking home a rebound after another break into the box. His pass then released Salomon Kalou to put the result beyond doubt. Huddersfield were terrier-like for the first 45. For most of the second, they've looked more like puppies, to be honest. So Chelsea's pursuit of 4 trophies continues. They're through to the last 8. It's finished Chelsea 3, Huddersfield 1.
The holders go through. Coventry City go out, parting company with manager Ian Dowie in midweek. parted company comprehensively, dramatically out of the competition this afternoon. Andrew James.
Yes, Coventry 0, West Brom 5, Ray, and it would be unfair on West Brom to suggest that the second half straight red for Coventry skipper Michael Doyle affected the outcome. Albion were far better, far more purposeful throughout, with 2 goals for Bednar, 1 for Zoltan Gera, 1 for Chris Brunt and another for Ismail Miller. But just as Coventry keeper Andy Marshall's howler for West Brom's second goal was key, so too was that sending off of Doyle and a penalty award against Ariane Dazou. Mr Halsey, the referee, has some explaining to do, but so too do the new owners of Coventry City, whose reward for sacking their manager in Cup Week was a humiliating and perhaps financially costly defeat in the Midlands derby. Coventry 0, West Brom 5.
Cardiff City through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time since 1927. Mark Bishop reporting.
Cardiff City 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. A high-octane performance from David Jones's side. The game had barely started when a lovely flick on from Hasselbank put Whittingham through on goal. The crowd sighed and they groaned before the ball was eventually slotted past Hennessy. 1-0 to Cardiff inside 3 minutes. Then a moment of magic from the old master himself, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, switching the ball back onto his left foot on the edge of the penalty area before smashing it into the top left-hand corner of the net. Wolves were wobbling, they never recovered. Hennessy made 2 great saves to deny Hasselbank of Barry. At the other end, Kyle's effort was cleared off the line, and in truth, Wolves were never in this. Cardiff 2, Wolves 0.
Quite an afternoon in the FA Cup. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Stoke played and won last night and went top of the table. Charlton against Watford, 5th against 2nd to kick off. Tony Lockwood of the Valley.
It ended Charlton 2, Watford 2. Charlton squandering a 2-goal lead. Watford with a spirited second half comeback. Darren Ambrose with the opener for the hosts. A Danny Shittu own goal made it 2-0. But substitute John Joe O'Toole brought it back to 2-1. And Shittu, so dangerous from set pieces, headed home a corner, 2-2.
To Portman Road, Andy Barwell on Ipswich against Blackpool. Ipswich in the playoff places.
Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1, full-time score, a win for the promotion chasers. To be honest, they manage it without really needing to find top gear. Second half goals from Shmulikowski and Walters settled this. Dickoff's controversial goal late on for Blackpool made the result seem closer than the game actually was. 2-1 Ipswich.
Colchester edging their way towards safety, perhaps. Hull trying to edge their way towards the playoffs. James Mason.
Yes, Ray, Hull 1, Colchester 1. Despite their best efforts, Hull simply couldn't force a winner here against a resolute Colchester defence. Against the run of play, Johnny Jackson fired the visitors ahead with a superb strike, but after Fraser Campbell's fine header, equalised it at 1-1, but nothing could get a goal for Hull City. Hull City 1, Colchester United 1.
First win in 4 for Leicester. Norwich's 13-match unbeaten run comes to an end. Alan Biggs.
Leicester 4, Norwich 0. Leicester's biggest win of the season, highly deserved, every bit as convincing as the score suggests. Ian Hume scored the first and made the second for Steve Howard. DJ Campbell slotted the third, and Stephen Clements, the heartbeat of the side, got before 3 of those goals in the second half, during which Norwich had Darrell Russell sent off for a nasty challenge. Richard Stearman of Leicester stretched it off. 4-0 to the Foxes.
Swansea have a 12-point cushion on an automatic promotion place into the Championship. Bottom versus top of Vale Park, Port Vale Swansea, watched by Nigel Bidmead.
Swansea won 2-0. Although comfortable in the end, it was anything but for an hour. Port Vale belied their lowly status with a performance full of energy, confidence and quality, but they just couldn't find the net, and it cost them when Swansea won a soft penalty from which Jason Scotland scored his 18th goal of the season. Then substitute Thomas Butler hit the base of the post. The ball rebounded into a crowd of players and gave Ferry Boda a tap-in. Hard lines on the home side.
In League 2, MK Dons match was postponed. Second place Darlington played second bottom Mansfield. Steve Sutton reporting.
Well, it's finished Darlington 1, Mansfield 2, Ray. Neil Austin gave Darlington the lead in the 21st minute, but Mansfield had looked the better side. Alan White was sent off straight red just before half time for Darlington. They were in shambles after that. 10 minutes after the restart, Jefferson Louis equalised before Stephen Dawson gave Mansfield a thoroughly deserved 2-1 win.
To Scotland, SPL leaders Rangers play tomorrow. Celtic have cut the gap to 1 point. Ian Turner.
Barcelona come to Celtic Park on Wednesday and the Scottish champions are in fine form, having scored 13 goals in their last 3 games. This afternoon the goals came from Venegoor of Hesselink, Scott McDonald his 24th of the season, and Andreas Hinkle with his first for the club. Hearts were well in this match until dreadful defending presented McDonald with his goal, but in the end Gordon Strachan side comfortable winners and now just 1 point behind the leaders Rangers. Celtic 3, Hearts.
Let's go back to Anfield. Championship side Barnsley have beaten Liverpool by 2-1 and are through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. It was a terrific victory for the Championship side. Liverpool really have no complaints. Liverpool out of the FA Cup. Just before we confirm all the rest of today's results, let's hear about the starting lineups for the Manchester United Arsenal fifth round FA Cup tie that kicks off in just over 15 minutes' time. The match live here on BBC One. John Motson's at Old Trafford.
Well, it's more about the absentees here now. There's no Ronaldo, no Giggs for Manchester United. Tevez and Scholes, they're both on the bench. And for Arsenal, it's Adebayor, Flamini and Clichy among the substitutes, with Arsene Wenger telling me a few minutes ago he'll only use them in an emergency because even those three are carrying injuries. Injuries which, of course, have forced another 6 players out of the Arsenal squad today. So it's a very unusual Manchester United-looking lineup. The attacking thrust now has got to come from the likes of Anderson, breaking from midfield, Nani, and also, of course, Park Ji-sung. Those look like the 3 most likely strikers today for Manchester United. And as for Arsenal, well, obviously, in the absence of Adebayor, Nicholas Bentner has a big job to do, and Eduardo, I should think, will probably play just behind him.
Kick-off in just under 15 minutes' time. Time to confirm all today's final scores. Here's Tim Gudgin.
And in the FA Cup, sponsored by Ian, Bristol Rovers 1, Southampton 0. Cardiff City 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Chelsea 3, Huddersfield Town 1. Coventry City 0, West Bromwich Albion 5. Liverpool 1, Barnsley 2. And Manchester United and Arsenal have a kick-off in a few minutes' time. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Charlton Athletic 2, Watford 2. Hull City 1, Colchester United 1. Ipswich Town 2, Blackpool 1. Leicester City 4, Norwich City 0. Coca-Cola League 1, Cheltenham Town 1, Hartlepool United 1. Crewe Alexandra's match with Carlisle United and Doncaster Rovers with Leeds United both postponed. Luton Town 0, Leyton Orient 1. Northampton Town 4, Gillingham 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Swindon Town 0. Oldham Athletic 3, Yeovil Town 0. Port Vale 0, Swansea City 2, Southend United 2, Bournemouth 1, Tranmere Rovers 2, Millwall 0. In League 2, Bradford City 1, Rochdale 2, Brentford 3, Accrington Stanley 1, Chester City 0, Notts County 1, Darlington 1, Mansfield Town 2, Grimsby Town 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 4, Hereford United 2, Chesterfield 0, Lincoln City 3, Macclesfield Town 1. Milton Keynes Dons match with Wrexham and Morecambe's with Shrewsbury Town both postponed. Peterborough United 1, Barnet 0. Stockport County 1, Bury 2. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Rotherham United 0. In the Blue Square Premier, Farsley Celtic 3, Woking 0. Forest Green Rovers 1, Stafford Rangers 2. Grays Athletic 0, Exeter City 2. Halifax Town 1, Cambridge United 2. Histon 3, York City 1. Northwich Victoria's match with Weymouth postponed. Oxford United 1, Droylsden 0. Ruston and Diamonds 1, Altrincham 0. Salisbury 2, Burton Albion 0. Torquay United 3, Ebbsfleet United 1. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 3, Hearts 0. Falkirk 4, St Mirren 0. Gretna 1, Motherwell 3. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Dundee United 1. Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Dundee 2, Morton 0. Dunfermline Athletic 1, Partick Thistle 1. Livingston's match with Clyde postponed. Green of the South 3, Stirling Albion 1. St Johnstone 2, Hamilton Academical 1. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 1, Brechin City 2. Alloa Athletic 3, Cowdenbeath 2. Berwick Rangers 0, Ross County 4. Peterhead 1, Queen's Park 0. Wraith Rovers 1, Ayr United 2. And Scottish Division 3, Arbroath 1, Albion Rovers 4. Dumbarton 0, East Fife 3. Elgin City's match with East Stirling postponed. Forfar Athletic 1, Montrose 1. And Stenhousemuir 1, Stranraer 1.
Just before we head over to Old Trafford for the Manchester United Arsenal FA Cup tie, here's a quick look at the updated league tables in the light of today's results. In the Championship, Stoke went top last night after beating Scunthorpe, still there on goal difference after Watford were held 2-2 at Charlton. Now, at the other end of the table, Colchester move above Sheffield Wednesday after drawing 1-1 at Hull. That's not enough to lift them out of the bottom three. On to League One. Leader Swansea 11 points clear after extending their unbeaten run to 16 matches with victory at bottom club Port Vale. At the bottom, Port Vale now winless in 7 games, bottom on goal difference behind Bournemouth. Resurgent form ended with defeat at Southend. To League Two, Hereford closed the gap on leaders MK Dons to 2 points. And at the bottom, Mansfield still 3 points away from safety. It's Wrexham still bottom of the table. Quick look too at the table as far as the Blue Square Premier is concerned. Leaders Aldershot playing promotion rival Stevenage tomorrow. Torquay have narrowed the gap. Quick look at the bottom. Droylsden remain bottom following another defeat. Stafford enjoyed a rare away win to move above Northwich, but the game was postponed. And at the SPL, Celtic have closed the gap on leaders Rangers to 1 point following their 3-0 win over Hearts. That's the situation league-wise. No surprise what the story is as far as the FA Cup is concerned. It's Barnsley who've beaten Liverpool at Anfield by 2-1, and there's the Barnsley manager, Simon Davey.
Simon, congratulations. A day that you'll remember for some time, I guess.
Yes, it'll live with us for a long while. Fantastic day. We've got into the next round of the Cup at Anfield, 1-2-1. I'm over the moon, but players deserve all the credit. They've been fantastic today.
You couldn't have timed it better with the goal, could you? I mean, injury time, just no time for Liverpool to reply.
No, it was into the 90th minute, and we're thinking if we can keep it tight, we'll bring them back to Oakwell. But we've gone up the end of the field and I'm screaming at players to get back, and I thought we should have had a penalty. Brian Howard's gone down, I thought it was a penalty, but he's popped back up and he's put one in right in the bottom corner, which is fantastic, and there's no coming back from that in injury time.
I noticed you more than once trying to sort of gesture to your players to calm down, but I bet your heart was pounding inside that suit, wasn't it?
It was. On these occasions you want your players to enjoy it, but relax in possession and make sure that they don't get overawed, and we're trying to get them to calm down all through the game, but as you said, last 2 minutes, I don't think anybody could calm down that stadium.
Action from all 5 of today's FA Cup ties, and the Manchester United Arsenal tie that's about to get going in tonight's match of the day, which starts at 10:30. Well done, Barnsley. Make no mistake about it, they deserved it, Garth.
It is about Barnsley, that's the story. But on 2 consecutive rounds, Liverpool have failed to produce. A bad night in the Champions League for Rafa Benitez could cost him his job.
Haven't and Waterlooville led twice. Barnsley have gone there and won.
Well, they didn't learn the lessons, and Liverpool today just weren't ruthless enough when they were in front. And Barnsley, all credit to them, they were good enough to go and win it.
Well played, Barnsley, Carlton.
Terrific. Great for the club, great for the players.
A quick reminder now via the red button. Our football service continues now till 6 o'clock. Goals from this afternoon's Cup ties are on the way, and we'll hear from managers and players involved in the 5 games already played. All today's results and the latest league tables will cycle on the screen too. The time now to hand over to Gary Lineker at Old Trafford. Kick-off drawing near in the Manchester United and Arsenal FA Cup tie.